Silence is not empty. Silence is not nothing. Silence is a language. It speaks even when we don't.
We've been taught to trust silence, to call it peace, to call it respect, to call it control.
We've been taught that silence keeps things from breaking. But silence does not hold things together. Silence keeps things in place. Silence keeps secrets, and secrets protect power.
When she is interrupted and no one says anything, silence says, "This is normal."
When a joke lands and something feels wrong, but no one reacts, silence says, "This is acceptable."
When a boundary is crossed in plain sight and the room remains still, silence says, "This is not our problem." But it is.
Because silence is not neutral. It leans, it sides, it chooses. Even when you don't. This is not about monsters. It never was. It is about moments, small moments, everyday moments. Moments that pass quickly, but stay with someone forever.
The moment you heard something that didn't feel right and let it pass. The moment you saw something that felt wrong and looked away. The moment you knew and said nothing. We understand why. Silence feels safer. Safer than speaking. Safer than disagreeing. Safer than standing alone.
Because speaking up can cost you something, a lot, a place in the group, a sense of belonging. That silence costs something too. It costs someone else their dignity, their safety, their voice.
You are not the violence, but silence can carry it. Silence can shield it. Silence can make space for it to continue unchallenged. And every time silence speaks, it says to someone, you are alone. And no one should have to stand alone in a moment like that.
Courage is not what we think it is. It is not loud. It is not fearless. It is not perfect. Sometimes courage is small, almost invisible. Sometimes courage is just, "I don't think that's funny." Sometimes courage is, "I don't agree." Sometimes courage is staying when it'd be easier to disappear. Sometimes courage is knowing when not to stay silent.
Because silence is always saying something. Silence is a message. Silence is an answer. Silence is a decision. Even when it feels like nothing, it is never nothing. Silence says, "This can continue." Silence says, "This is allowed." Silence says, "This is normal." But it doesn't have to.
You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the right words. You don't have to be ready. You just have to be willing to break the silence. Because silence is a choice. And so is your voice. What does your silence say? What will you say instead?